It was a quiet afternoon in Los Angeles, the kind of day where everything felt calm, even though the city was bustling with its usual chaos. Dwayne Johnson sat in his home office, catching up on some personal messages when his phone buzzed. An unknown number flashed on the screen. He hesitated for a second, wondering if it was just another prank or marketing call, but then something urged him to pick it up. "Dwayne Johnson speaking," he said, his deep voice calm but filled with curiosity. The voice on the other end was smooth, almost too perfect. "Mr. Johnson, we have an invitation for you. A private retreat on an uncharted island. No cameras, no press. Just you and an unforgettable experience." Dwayne leaned back in his chair, intrigued but cautious. "An island?" he asked with a chuckle, thinking it might be a joke. The voice on the other end didn't sound like it was joking at all. "Yes, Mr. Johnson, Arcadia Island. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. No distractions, just a place to truly discover what you're capable of." The voice paused, adding in a persuasive tone, "It's an experience you won't forget." At first, Dwayne thought it might be a prank, but something about the voice, its calm and assured nature, convinced him otherwise. "What's the catch?" he asked, now fully intrigued. "There is no catch, just your time and your curiosity. We promise you won't regret it." The voice then gave him the coordinates and an invitation to fly out within 3 days. After a moment of thought, Dwayne agreed. A little adventure could be just what he needed. 3 days later, Dwayne found himself on a private jet flying across the Pacific. The flight crew was unusually quiet, offering little information about the destination. Dwayne stared out the window, his mind racing with possibilities. What was this island really about? Who else had been there? As the plane began its descent, Dwayne caught his first glimpse of Arcadia Island. It was breathtaking. Lush green forests surrounded by crystal clear waters, jagged cliffs rising majestically from the sea, and a mist that seemed to dance just above the trees. The island seemed to have its own energy, a magnetic pull that fascinated him instantly. As the plane touched down on a small airstrip carved into the heart of the jungle, Dwayne stepped it out and felt the warm, salty breeze kiss his face. He inhaled deeply, appreciating the purity of the air. Standing there, a man in a tailored suit greeted him, his smile warm and welcoming. "Welcome to Arcadia Island, Mr. Johnson. Your adventure begins now." The man's words were simple, but there was something profound in his tone, something that made Dwayne feel as if he were about to step into the unknown, into something much bigger than himself. Dwayne was escorted to a vintage Jeep waiting near the runway. The driver, a cheerful woman named Elena, handed him a map and smiled. "We don't use GPS here. This island is about discovery." As the Jeep started, the road twisted through dense jungle, sunlight barely breaking through the thick canopy above. Dwayne couldn't help but feel both excitement and unease. The island felt alive, like it was aware of him. It was as if the trees were watching him, the rustling leaves whispering secrets. They arrived at a clearing where a rustic yet luxurious cabin awaited. Inside, Dwayne found a handwritten note on the table. "This island is full of stories. Yours starts at the lighthouse." The note had a key attached and a hand-drawn map leading to the lighthouse at the farthest edge of the island. Dwayne's curiosity flared. Without second guessing, he grabbed a backpack, filled it with supplies, and set off toward the lighthouse. The air was thick with anticipation. The trail to the lighthouse was long and winding, but Dwayne's strength and athleticism carried him forward. He encountered towering trees with roots snaking across the path, making each step deliberate. The sounds of the jungle were constant, from the chirping of unseen birds to the rustle of the underbrush, which hinted at wildlife hidden within. The sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the jungle. The sound of waves grew louder, signaling that he was nearing his destination. The path became steeper, and soon, Dwayne emerged into a clearing. There, standing tall against the setting sun, was the lighthouse. Its white walls had been weathered by time, and vines clung to its base like nature's embrace. The door creaked open as Dwayne inserted the key from the note, feeling a surge of excitement. Inside, the air was cool, and the faint smell of salt from the ocean lingered. The staircase spiraled upwards, and as he climbed, Dwayne noticed old photographs and sketches adorning the walls, each one telling a story of bravery and sacrifice. It felt like a tribute, a shrine to unsung heroes. At the top, the lantern room offered a panoramic view of the island. On a table in the corner lay a journal. Its leather cover was embossed with the initials JW. Driven by curiosity, Dwayne opened it. The journal's pages were filled with entries from decades ago, belonging to a man named James Westfield. He had been stranded on the island after a shipwreck. His writing painted a vivid picture of survival, isolation, and self-discovery. The pages spoke of the island's secrets, its challenges, and the strength required to survive. One entry stood out. "This island is no ordinary place. It tests you, teaches you, and if you're brave enough, it reveals the truth about who you are." Dwayne's heart skipped a beat. Was he being tested too? The more he read, the more intrigued he became. Tucked within the journal was a hand-drawn map, marking a spot deep in the jungle labeled only as the Heart. Dwayne decided to follow the map. The trail was even more treacherous than before. Steep inclines and dense undergrowth made each step a challenge. The jungle felt alive, its sounds growing louder as birds called out and leaves rustled in the wind. Dwayne pushed forward, his determination never wavering. He climbed, stumbled, and made his way deeper into the jungle. The hours passed, and just as he was starting to doubt the map's accuracy, he stumbled upon a hidden clearing. At its center stood a massive tree with sprawling roots and a hollow base. The moment he saw the hollow tree, Dwayne knew this was it. Inside, he found a weathered chest, its wood faded by years of exposure. He pried it open with effort, revealing relics from another time. Golden coins, an intricately designed compass, and a letter sealed with wax. The letter was addressed to the one who finds this. It spoke of the island's true purpose, to remind visitors of their strength, resilience, and their deep connection to the world around them. Dwayne sat back for a moment, feeling a deep sense of clarity. The island wasn't just a physical place. It was a reflection of his own journey, a symbol of the strength that had carried him this far. Sitting under the tree, Dwayne let the weight of the experience sink in. The island had shown him parts of himself he hadn't acknowledged in years. His struggles, his triumphs, and the importance of staying grounded. The sun began to set, casting the clearing in a soft golden light. He closed his eyes, letting the sounds of the jungle wash over him. It was peaceful, and for the first time in a long time, he felt truly at peace with who he was. The journey back to the cabin felt lighter, both physically and emotionally. The dense air of the jungle had given way to a cool breeze, and the weight of the island's lessons seemed to ease with every step. As Dwayne walked, the lighthouse's beam cut through the growing darkness, its steady light offering him a sense of guidance and assurance. The shadows from the towering trees seemed to recede as he drew closer, and the sounds of the jungle seemed quieter now, as though the island itself was bidding him farewell. When he finally reached the cabin, Elena was standing at the door, waiting for him with that same knowing smile she had greeted him with when he first arrived. Her eyes met his with an understanding that needed no words. She had seen the transformation in him, even before he realized it. "How was it?" she asked softly, as if she already knew the answer but wanted him to say it aloud. Dwayne smiled back, his eyes filled with a new understanding, the weight of his experience settling into his bones. He took a deep breath, his chest rising with a sense of fulfillment. "It's more than I expected. This place," his voice trailed off for a moment as he searched for the right words. "It's something else. It's not just an adventure, it's a journey within. I came here looking for something, but I found so much more." Elena's smile deepened. The island does that to people. It's not just about discovering the place, but discovering yourself. Before leaving the island, Dwayne made one final trip to the Great Tree, the place where everything had started to make sense. Sitting beneath its massive roots once again, he took a deep breath, feeling the cool air on his skin and the soft hum of nature around him. The island had shown him so much, more than he could have anticipated. It had revealed his strengths and vulnerabilities, and now he felt a quiet sense of completion. But even in the stillness, he knew there was more to be shared. With a sense of resolve, he pulled out a piece of paper and a pen from his bag. He thought about the next person who would find this place, someone who might be searching for answers or just needing a moment of clarity. As his pen moved across the paper, he wrote a letter for the future traveler of Arcadia Island. "To whoever reads this, trust the journey. This island has more to show you than you can imagine. Let it. Take the time to listen. Take the time to be present. This place isn't just about the destination. It's about who you become along the way." He carefully folded the letter and placed it in the hollow of the tree, the same spot where he had found his own revelation. The letter felt like a final act of connection, a message that would live on long after he had left. As the plane took off and Arcadia Island became a distant dot on the horizon, Dwayne looked back one last time, his heart full. The island's beauty, its lessons, and the journey it had led him on were now etched in his memory forever. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, a sense of peace and clarity he hadn't expected to find when he first set foot on the island. As the plane soared higher into the sky, Dwayne's thoughts were calm, his mind focused, and his spirit at ease. He was ready for whatever came next. The story didn't end with an escape from the island. It ended with an embrace of nature, challenge, and self-discovery. And Dwayne knew that no matter what lay ahead, he was prepared to face it with strength and wisdom. As Dwayne Johnson's journey on Arcadia Island comes to an end, it's clear that the greatest adventure wasn't the one he expected. It was the one he discovered within himself. The island, with all its mysteries, challenges, and beauty, showed him the power of reflection, resilience, and growth. As he leaves this magical place, he carries with him the lessons that will guide him in everything that lies ahead. The journey, after all, is not about the destination, it's about the person you become along the way.